All right, let's dive into what is easily one of the biggest, wildest tech stories we've seen in a long time, the sale of AI.com. Now, this isn't just about a simple domain name. Oh no. This is a story about a mind-boggling price tag, a viral myth that took over the internet, and a really bold vision for where AI is headed. We're going to get to the bottom of what really happened. So let me just start by asking you this. Could $100, a simple $100 investment made by a 10-year-old kid on his mom's credit card, actually turn into $70 million? It sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? A modern-day fairy tale. And that's the story that absolutely everyone, news outlets all over the world, ran with. Just look at that number, $70 million. Let that just sink in for a second. That's the kind of money we are talking about for just 2 letters and a .com. It is one of the biggest domain sales in history, and honestly, the sheer size of the number is what made the story behind it so irresistible.
And that, of course, brings us to the first part of this whole saga, the myth. The story that just spread like wildfire. And as we all know, when a story seems a little too good to be true, well, it usually is. Welcome to the AgileWoW podcast, by the way, your trusted partner in Agile, Scrum, artificial intelligence training, coaching, and innovation. AgileWoW is on a mission to build communities, empower professionals, and accelerate the learning curve one conversation at a time.
So here are the details that everyone was sharing. Picture this. It's 1993. The internet is just getting started, and a 10-year-old kid in Malaysia named Arsanyan Ismail supposedly registers AI.com for $100. Why? Not because he was some kind of visionary who saw the AI revolution coming, but simply because AI were his initials. The story goes he just held on to it for over 30 years and then, bam, cashes out for $70 million. I mean, it's the ultimate investment story, isn't it?
But this is where we have to pivot. We have to go from just telling the story to actually investigating it. Because when you start to dig into the public records, the domain registration logs, the WHOIS data, the facts, well, they just don't quite fit that perfect, tidy narrative.
Okay, so look at this timeline. This is where that whole myth just completely falls apart. The records are pretty clear. AI.com wasn't registered by a kid in 1993. It was registered by a U.S. company. Then, for years, it was owned by a big domain investment firm. The real kicker is this. The actual Arsanyan Ismail we've been hearing about, he only bought the domain in September of 2021. And that changes everything.
And this just lays it all out, side by side, the myth versus the reality. The story isn't about a 10-year-old boy's lucky guess in 1993. It's about a super savvy tech entrepreneur making a move in 2021. The price wasn't $100, it was closer to $11 million. And this whole thing wasn't some childhood whim. It was a calculated, strategic, and incredibly successful domain flip.
So yeah, the viral story was a myth, but the real story? Honestly, it's just as impressive, if not more so. This wasn't a 30-year-long lottery ticket. This was a masterclass in short-term investing that brought in a ridiculous return. Let's just look at the actual numbers. Just look at that jump. An $11 million purchase in 2021 skyrockets to a $70 million sale less than 4 years later. That's a profit of nearly $60 million. It's a truly phenomenal return on investment that just screams incredible timing and a very, very clever strategy.
And here's where it gets really brilliant. The strategy. Instead of just sitting on the domain, Ismail used this tactic that people are now calling redirect trolling. He would point AI.com to all the major players. One day it would go to ChatGPT, another day to Google Gemini. This just fueled a massive fire of media speculation, right? It created this sense of competition and scarcity, which drove the perceived value of the domain through the roof. Genius.
Okay, so we've seen this seller's brilliant play. Now let's talk about the other side of this deal, the buyer. Who pays $70 million for 2 letters? Well, that would be Kris Marszalek, the CEO of Crypto.com. The question is, why? What is the grand vision behind an investment this massive? Just a quick reminder, this episode is brought to you by AgileWoW. If you're looking to level up your skills, check out our upcoming workshops on product management, agile leadership, and artificial intelligence. Visit our website, www.agilewow.com, for more details.
Marszalek himself pretty much gave us the answer. He said there's a huge desire to own this touch point, otherwise you get commoditized. Think about it. In a world that is getting absolutely crowded with AI startups, owning the name, the category-defining domain, is how you stand out. When you own AI.com, you're not just another AI company. You are the front door to the entire industry.
So what exactly are they building behind this $70 million front door?
a platform for something called agentic AI. This is what you need to understand. It's the next step beyond chatbots like ChatGPT. Instead of just answering your questions, agentic AI actually takes action for you. It's like having a real personal assistant that can book flights, manage your money, you name it. They don't just talk, they do.
Right, so that $70 million purchase, it was never just about a cool domain name. It was a massive bet on what a lot of people think is the next huge shift in technology. A future where all of us have our own personal AI agents working for us 24/7.
So let's break down what these AI agents are actually supposed to do. Yeah, they can handle the simple stuff like your calendar and messages, but they can also take on way more complex jobs, like executing stock trades based on your preferences, or even managing your social media profiles. But the wildest part? The vision for a decentralized network where all these agents are constantly learning from each other, getting smarter and more powerful all the time.
And if you're wondering if people are actually interested in this, well, the new AI.com launched with a Super Bowl commercial, the biggest advertising stage on the planet. And the response was so huge, so immediate that it crashed the website instantly. That tells you everything you need to know about the public's appetite for this tech. So, we end up right back where we started, but now we have a totally new perspective. The story of AI.com, both the fairy tale and the hard reality, it forces us to ask this really big question. In this new age of AI, what is a name, the ultimate digital address for an entire industry, what is it truly worth? It seems that for now at least, the answer is $70 million. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast, supported by AgileWoW. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow the podcast, leave us a review, and share it with your team. And if you want to advance your Agile journey, check out AgileWoW's upcoming trainings, events, and workshops, all designed to help you grow faster, smarter, and together. Until next time, stay agile, stay curious.